Greetings, students, and welcome to THEO415 Denominational Heritage and Structure. This class will give you a good opportunity to learn about the development of the Christian church and its various manifestations in an organic fashion, and I hope that you'll find that particularly helpful. For example, in Unit 1, we look at Roman Catholicism and Orthodoxy, sometimes known as Eastern Orthodoxy, and you will have the opportunity to see how those two compare and contrast by looking at some videos, both from an Orthodox as well as a Roman Catholic perspective, and some websites as well. Some of the websites have more information than others. The ones that say read, for example, ask you to look at that material more carefully. For example, the table here has a compare and contrast between Orthodoxy, Protestantism, and Roman Catholicism under different headings: the Bible, clergy, and so on and so forth. There are different views of marriage and divorce, Mary, and so on. So hopefully that will be helpful. You should really read that over carefully. Those that say review, on the other hand, are more of a clearinghouse and have a great deal of information that you can peruse more at your leisure. This is, for example, a website, clearinghouse information from the Catholic Church on various headings. And if you're interested particularly in looking a little bit more at their teaching about Mary, which is something that some of us are a little bit struck by in terms of how it differs so much from Protestantism, you can look at the overview of the church's teaching and excerpts from church documents and so on and so forth. A lot of material there for you to look at. The question for the discussion has to do with comparing and contrasting how Catholics and Orthodox adherents of Orthodoxy differ in their views of authority. So you have a brief video to look at there. Then you have a writing assignment in most of these units that has to do with comparing and contrasting a key doctrine of each of these churches that are under discussion. So you'll be able to compare and contrast Orthodox and Catholic church teachings on a particular doctrine, and that should be using 4 academic sources and 3 to 4 pages of content itself. So that's Unit 1. Unit 2 focuses then on the development of Lutheranism out of the Catholic Church, and you have some good videos on Luther's break and later Lutheranism and its development. Again, websites on mainline church as well as a breakoff church, Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. Discussion on how Luther came to his Reformation insights, again having to do with ideas of authority, and then the assignment comparing and contrasting either one key doctrinal difference between Catholicism, out of which Lutheranism arose, or between mainline Lutheranism and a breakoff version of Lutheranism like the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod, and the same requirements as before. Unit 3 has a similar type of format. It looks at Anglicanism and Episcopalianism. And again, you have some videos to watch as well as some websites to look at. GavCon is a breakoff version of the Anglican Church. And so you can look there at their teachings and how it differs from mainline Anglicanism. The discussion has to do with how Anglicanism arose and differs from Catholicism and some of the major people who were involved in that break. And then you have an assignment, which is, in this instance, a PowerPoint. So this is an undergraduate major presentation, and this will be 10 to 12 slides with slide notes and voice narration on a key doctrinal difference between Catholicism and Anglicanism, or between mainline Anglicanism and a breakoff like GavCon. Unit 4 on Calvinism and the Reformed Church, again, has some good videos for you to review, and some material on mainline Presbyterianism and a breakoff of the Presbyterian Church, which is one version, the Presbyterian Church in America. You can look over their various views on things. The discussion has to do with how Lutherans and Reformed differ, again going back to issues of authority. And then the Unit 4 assignment is again a compare and contrast between a key doctrinal difference between Lutherans and Reformed, or between mainline Presbyterianism the American version really of the Reformed Church, or a breakoff version of Presbyterianism like the Presbyterian Church in America. There are a lot of versions of the Reformed Church, so you certainly could probably pick one that interests you with the approval of your instructor. Unit 5 has a focus on the Anabaptist movement and the rise of the Baptist Church with a video, as well as some websites that you can look over on mainline American Baptist Church and breakoffs like Southern Baptist Church. The discussion has to do with authority again, and the Unit 5 is a written mastery assignment, this time asking you to trace a particular doctrinal difference between each of the churches studied thus far. So this will be a synthesis kind of paper and help you to be able to see how things have developed in terms of a particular doctrine between these different manifestations of the Christian church that you've studied thus far, and how that develops out of varied views of authority. That's be 5 to 6 pages, not including title page and endnotes, and you should use 5 academic sources. And the last unit then has to do with Methodism and Pentecostalism, and it has some good videos on the rise of the Arminian movement out of the Reformation, and the life of Wesley, a major proponent of Arminianism, a brief history of the Methodist Church, the mainline Methodist Church, and then a breakoff like the Church of the Nazarene, as well as a good video on Pentecostalism with its focus on holiness. Discussion has to do with, again, the ideas of authority, the Wesleyan quadrilateral, and the Unit 6 assignment, again, focuses on a key difference between either Anglicanism, out of which Methodism arose, or between Methodism and its mainline manifestation and a breakoff version like the Church of the Nazarene. I hope that you enjoy the class. I hope it's something that you find very helpful. Certainly a lot of manifestations of the church. There are so many denominations, and this, I hope, will help you understand how they've arisen as well as how they differ.